Next, we'd like to open it up for questions. Does anybody have a question?
Yeah, thanks.
Can you address the question to which candidate, or if
This
you
is
want
for
to
both.
both candidates?
And it's an easy 1 to 10 answer I'm looking for. There's a cancer affecting our community, and by that I mean the area outside Cinnamon Beach, and that is this rental implementation and the growth of short-term rental properties here. There are rental properties and homes that permits were issued for single-family homes. The community approved the building for single-family homes, and now they've turned into commercial businesses. There has been, and there continues to be, an effort by concerned citizens like myself to place limitations on such rentals consistent with what adjoining communities do. Now my question for the board, and by the way, the fact 2 board members aren't here, 2 nominees, I think speaks volumes about their commitment and how conscientious they would be on the board. But passing over that, my question for the board is, the candidates on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're absolutely opposed to any restrictions whatsoever on the rental of single-family homes, and 10 being it's your primary objective being on the board to see that limitations are put on short-term rentals on property. What's your number?
My number, being Ron Boyce, is between 7 and 8. And I'll just give you one statement, and actually this is from the city of Delray Beach, basically. And they have actually restrictions in place. So do a lot of other communities, counties, and cities in the state of Florida. Transient rental residential uses can displace permanent single-family residential dwellings and thus reduce the number of permanent residents in the city and cause a reduction in state revenue sharing funds necessary to support the services that influence the quality of life of residents, commercial interests, and visitors to the city of Delray Beach.
Frank?
I'm not sure I can give a number. I'm not sure your number scale. However, I think it's interesting to go back and look at the issue of rentals in the community. When Susan and I bought our lot in 1999, the documents at that time stated that rentals could be controlled by the ARB. When the amended master declaration was passed in 2001, and the North Shore people came in and they merged the communities, that whole section got eliminated. And that's been the problem since, because we have no way to control rentals in our documents. All it says is that anyone can rent whenever they want to. It's been interesting to follow the attempt to amend the master declaration a couple of years ago. At that time, as you know, there was a proposal to limit rentals to 30 days or more outside of Cinnamon Beach. The voting on that amongst our owners was that it failed. It did not even get the 2/3 vote necessary to pass. It did not even get a majority. So we have to realize that as directors we serve all our owners, and I have to realize that there are owners who want to rent their homes. I think the approach that has been instituted this year, particularly by Fred Cook, of having a rental policy advisory committee, is helpful. I think our biggest gripe of the people who rent is not that they're renters, is that they don't behave well. And we need to be able to control that and deal with it as best we can. We're not going to be able to change the actual process without going through a huge change in our documents that probably would not pass. I think the approach to taking with life safety is certainly important, and that needs to be stressed. But we've had lots of legal opinions about what constitutes single-family homes, and we can't change the facts of the situation.
Well, with all due respect, if you don't have an opinion on the rental problem, I think you're out of touch with what's going on in this community. With all due respect, as long as you lived here, I don't need a history of what's gone on. I would like to see a board that would support the efforts of the residents here to limit these rentals, which are clearly inconsistent with us having a quiet, peaceful lifestyle here. And I'm disappointed that anyone would not be able to commit simply you're for it or you're against it.
It's not my personal opinion that I'm talking about. I'm talking about my role as a director. My personal opinion is not what I have to serve when I serve the community. I have to serve the entire community, and it would be great if we didn't have short-term rentals, but
You're not willing to do anything about it, is what you're saying.
there's not much we can do short of having.
Thank you. I have a second question. The growth and sheer number of short-term renters places a huge stress on our community. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They cause a great deal of additional work for the security people working the gates and the homeowners trying to get in the gates during peak rental seasons. They're the primary cause for our security patrols to have to go out in the middle of the night and investigate problems. They have no investment in this community and therefore have generally little respect for our homes and our covenants. They routinely leave their trash and abandon their junk on our beaches.
Yes.
And our community infrastructure was never conceived to be built to support gobs of short-term transient renters using our facilities here. Their groups of vehicles cause congestion in our community and are generally an eyesore to residents. I have a house on my street that routinely has 6 cars parked in the driveway and on the grass, and we do nothing about it. In sum, the rise of short-term rentals in our community has added real cost to our lives, both financially, environmentally, and emotionally. And the Homeowners Association and the homeowners receive nothing in return for the burdens they're forced to endure. Short-term renters, and I mean the people who rent for a week, pay no fees to the Homeowners Association for their commercial use and enjoyment of our community and our common amenities. I believe that commercial renters should be required to pay an access fee or a use fee in connection with their rentals to help reimburse the community for the various costs associated with their use. I would propose that commercial renters be charged a fee for each gate access pass they are issued in connection with their rental and based on the length of their stay. Such a fee would be applicable only to commercial renters, not when our families come down and stay with us, not when our friends come over to dinner, but strictly to those people commercially renting homes in our community. Would you support the implementation of such a gate access fee to generate revenues for the Homeowners Association and to help offset the costs of commercial rentals on our community?
I actually did bring that up at one of our board meetings. I actually asked the board to consider charging transient rental homeowners an additional fee for security. So I would not be opposed to that.
Bill? Both parties, I'm asking.
Frank?
I'm not necessarily opposed to it as long as we can do it legally.
Why are you all scared of lawyers?
We're not scared of lawyers.
I am one. I am one. You're all fear and trepidation is really unbelievable. You know, it is the ultimate cop-out. And I don't blame you for blaming lawyers, but it's so sissy. I mean, it really is. You know.
Will you get on the committee?
You weren't sued when you were I weren't sued.
I always help formally. I always help. And by the way, I would be glad to head up a study on the feasibility of doing this gate access. I would be glad to volunteer my time. It would be easy to do, to set up a website, make these people go online, use their credit cards, buy their access passes. The security people would then issue the access passes when they showed up. It'd be easy, and it'd generate revenue. And why we don't do some innovative things, except saying we can't do things because we're afraid of lawyers, is beyond me. Thank you.